Hello there, everyone. How you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going to r/entitled people, where we've got a series about a mother and a brother who are absolutely insane, as well as entitled. If you enjoy the stories I have for you, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Now, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? My entitled mother attacks me and demands that I pay for my abuser's bail. My mother continues to be the bane of my existence. It's been about a month since I, 29 female, last dealt with her, and I am once again facing my mom's delusions. The short background is my mother prefers my sexual abuser, stepbrother Chris. He's 43 now. He abused me since I was a child. Normal abuse at first that evolved into naughty abuse as I became a preteen and then a teen. After the worst happened, my paternal half-brother Sam took me in when I was 16 and raised me. It's also come to light that my mother was stealing from a trust my father had set for me, with fake receipts that she had also been claiming me in her taxes, which is ridiculous since I do my own taxes as an independent. All in all, my mother is now being investigated for tax fraud. Chris is currently in jail for kidnapping his cousin's baby, a 2-year-old girl. Now to the newest stupidity that has come from my mother. She is now harassing me to pay Chris's bail. To begin with, I can't believe they would let him post bail at all after kidnapping a child. The bail is set at $25,000. That seems like a lot, but in all honesty, I find it absolutely disturbing that that's all they're charging. I've been trying to get a restraining order on both Chris and Mother. Chris, that one is more likely to be coming. My mother, despite all her harassment, no one, neither cops nor lawyers, believe her to be a danger to me. So I still have to deal with my mother trying to talk to me at the parking lot at the clinic I work at. I'm a nurse practitioner, or at home constantly banging on the door. Her sisters, who I met as an adult and didn't know they even existed to begin with, have also joined in on this. Sam and his wife say that it's okay and not to worry, but I know this is taking a toll on them. I'm also worried about their kids. They have 2 boys being exposed to all this crazy. So despite Sam's insistence that everything is okay, I moved temporarily to a hotel until I could find a cheap apartment to rent. Some people suggested becoming a traveling nurse, and while I'm considering it, I don't want to be far from Sam and his family, as they are my support system. The issue is my mother somehow tracked me to the first hotel I was in, and found out my room number. She banged on the door while I was getting ready for work. When I opened the door to tell her to go away, she slapped me and began to hit and scratch at me, yelling that it was my fault that her sweet boy was taken by the cops. You should be the one paying for his bail. My mom isn't that strong, but I was stunned by the sudden attack. By sheer luck, housekeeping was doing their rounds when this happened, and they got security to restrain my mother. Security called the cops, they took my mom away, but apparently let her go with just a warning. When I recovered enough, I ended my stay and booked into another hotel. I did go to work, mostly so I could get my injuries looked after. My boss heard this as she was helping me get through a panic attack and cleaning some scratches I had on my neck. After giving her full details, she told me she had a rental for extra income. At this moment, it was rented to some extra college students, but when the semester ends, she's going to close it as a student rental and offered it to me. It's a small house with a yard that permits pets, so I can bring my cat with me. She also wants me to start carpooling with one of my coworkers, a male nurse that looks intimidating but is the sweetest teddy bear you can imagine. I went to the cops to report my mother, and again, despite the pictures of my injuries, this was all brushed off as a domestic affair, since my mother is elderly and they don't think she is a real danger. I even got lectured about maybe needing family therapy. My lawyer just told me to take a deep breath and do the paper trail. He told me at the end of all this, we'll have the last laugh, so here's hoping. As to how my mother found my room number, the girl at the front desk gave it to her when my mom made a scene about how having unaliving tendencies, and she was worried I would off myself after my fiance was taken by the cops on fake charges. Yeah, I think it's BS, and my lawyer's already speaking to the hotel's management about that one. My dear mother has also gone back to social media to claim I attacked her when she went to check on me after Sam kicked me out. Again, it's turned into a fight between my dad's family and her family. I posted pictures of my injuries and wrote my account of what happened. I'm just so tired at the moment. This is affecting my work, and while my boss is amazing and supportive, I can't imagine this is good for me. I miss Sam and his family. I miss my own bed. I miss my peace. I never wanted to deal with my mother or Chris after I left their roof. Small update for people that called out for me to check my car for air tags. You called it. There was an air tag hidden in the undercarriage. No idea how it was put in, but it was covered in a ton of tape, making it even harder to see since it matched the door. And that's the end of the story, but guess what? There's an update! My entitled mom finally got arrested. Hey there, everyone. I'm finally happy to inform that my mother was arrested last night for tax fraud and grand larceny against my inheritance. It's been about 6 months of waiting for this to happen, but finally it has. To do the mandatory TLDR, my mother stole from a trust fund my biological dad left for me to pay for my stepbrother, Chris. He was my abuser, both physically and in a naughty manner, growing up. Now both of them are arrested. Chris was arrested for kidnapping his cousin's child. It's been months of harassment, abuse, and fear. But I have to admit, right now, I feel amazing. I might have to testify at some point, but that's fine. I'm ready to be free of both of them. As many have suggested, someone even did a great bullet point list recently that was filled with good tips. I'm in the process of getting a temporary restraining order and also getting a new social security number. I'm back home with my half-brother and his family. Turns out one of his neighbors is selling his house, so fingers crossed that I get it. I'm just so relieved. It's been half a year of pain and turmoil. I'm not lowering my guard, but at least a couple of weeks of peace will be nice. My mother did call me twice from jail. The first call went to voice message where she demanded I drop the charges, which I literally can't. It's all the IRS. Then secondly, I did answer and it was pretty much begging me not to abandon her. It felt good to just say bye-bye and end that call. Good luck to whoever her lawyer ends up being. Her flying monkeys, my aunts I just met recently, have been annoying me with messages and emails, but I can live with blocking them. They are complete strangers, so it's not as emotionally draining. Again, as cliche as it sounds, I cannot thank enough about everyone's advice and support. If I have any updates, I'll post them, but for now, I'm gonna go back to lurking in the shadows. And there's one more update for all of us, so let's go to that. Abuser, stepbrother, and entitled mom update. Hey everyone, been a few months and I had some people asking for updates, so I just wanted to confirm I'm alive and I'm healthy. Forgive me if I don't do a recap, but seriously, I've done too many. To begin down the list of updates, my mom has finally been arrested. Turns out she never became a citizen, just a resident, so she might be facing deportation rather than jail. Either way works for me. I heard from her a bit before last Christmas, though. Some friends of hers, now ex-friends, who came to ask me why I accused my mother of tax fraud, they were under the impression my mom sent me monthly allowances because I was a failed college student. It took 10 minutes to correct the story. Turns out keeping your diploma on the wall corrects misunderstandings about who is the leech real fast. My mom's sisters have been a nightmare on social media, to be honest, blaming me for everything, saying it's my fault the family's name has been dragged through the mud. To be honest, I'm planning to change my name to remove my mother's surname. I made sure to post that, and that only made things worse. They even had a Catholic priest call me because he was worried I was not honoring my mother like a good Christian should. Imagine his face when I told him I decided to convert to Buddhism, a full-on lie. I'm happily agnostic. Nothing against him. I'm sure my aunts fed him a BS story. I decided to visit Chris in jail also. This was more for my satisfaction than anything. A last F you if you want to see it that way. He never got the money to post bail, so he's sitting in jail until trial. Sometime in January, if I remember right. Gotta love court backlogs. When he saw me, he called me mi vida and tried to be lovey-dovey. I was a complete bitch and brought in my boyfriend. Remember my coworker who was a big and scary teddy bear? Well, things happened and we got together. I told Chris that this was the last time we would speak. I loudly called him out for being a bastard and a pedophile. I told him he was a monster for kidnapping a baby girl, and who knows what sick fantasy he had for the poor thing. I also found out the cousin he abused was younger than me. I called him out for being a mid-30s bastard touching a 9-year-old. He began crying that he was sick, but he knew my love would cure him. I told him I already had someone I loved, and this is the last time I ever exchanged words with him. I just wanted him to see me in a good relationship, with my life relatively put together, despite the years of abuse he inflicted on me. I also swore that I would make sure the cousin he abused will have a good life as well. I left after that, and pretty sure other inmates in the room heard. I overheard a guard swearing and calling for more guards to escort Chris. He gave me a tired look as I passed, so I did feel bad for putting extra work on the man. I've been in contact with Chris's cousin, as I promised. She's about the same age as I was when Chris did his worst assault on me. Thankfully, in her case, it didn't go as far. Her mom has been very sweet and supports us talking. I also told them if there was any need for support, emotional or monetary, just to give me a call. I made it clear this offer was for the family except my ex-stepfather and Chris. They've been nothing but kind to me, and apologetic for not noticing the abuse. I can't blame them since we barely ever cross paths. As for the house I wanted to buy, unfortunately I didn't get it. That's okay though, since I started a new relationship. I decided to pause too many big steps. It was stressing me out, and this is my first formal relationship to begin with. A small sad news is my cat of 23 years, she made it there, God bless her, passed away. She had an aggressive form of mouth cancer that just made her waste away in days. After much thought, I let her go. I couldn't see my best friend of 2 decades suffer like that. That was another reason I'm glad I still have to live with my half-brother and his family. My nephews have been my greatest support during this loss. And not wanting to jump the gun, but I got permission from my boyfriend to post this. I'm also now learning to take a more maternal role. My boyfriend is a single dad to the sweetest 4-year-old. Her mom sadly passed away when she was a baby. So I am the first female figure in her life as a partner to her dad. We're not jumping to being mom right off the bat, I'm just her dad's friend. She has warmed up to me at the very fast, and I've come to love spending time with her. She even made me a drawing of my cat, knowing my little angel with wings passed away. So I always know my cat is watching over me. I gotta admit, I teared up a little bit after that. So yeah, life is somewhat back to normal. Good news mixed with sad news. I'm learning what it's like to be with somebody that actually likes me and respects me. All in all, I'm doing much better. Thank you all for watching today's video. Sorry I couldn't have many more stories in there, but we got a big one in there for you. So I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and hit that notification bell. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.